Can you hear me? Hello? Mr. Ahmed? Great. Should I start? So, hello and welcome. This is Ahmed Raga from the Academic Professional Training, and today we're going to discuss the writing in a TOEFL. Now, before we've discussed lots of things. We've discussed some things about the speaking, some things about the listening, and some other things about the integrated listening and speaking. Today we're going to discuss writing, and also in the future we're going to discuss the rest of the skills that we're missing actually, and we'll have the last exam at the end. Okay? Now, so what is the writing? The writing is a problem for lots of people. Why? Because lots of people, they actually don't know how to combine sentences together and make a whole paragraph that connects it together. Okay, so how to write a paragraph like this? Now, first I have to focus on that. Now, the paragraph here, as we said before, it's writing. The writing is somehow it has a huge part for the exam. It has 30 marks. It's 1/4. So that means that's a kind of thing. Now, in the writing, we have two writings. We have the normal writing and the integrated writing. So it's there is a writing integrated with the speaking. Okay, so let's start our presentation. Now, any writing in the world starts by words, then we have sentences. Okay, so if we're going to write anything, so we start by words, then we have sentences. Excuse me, a second. We have some small technical problems. Okay, before we start, we were saying that the writing starts by words, and these words actually we combine them and we make sentences. But what are the kinds of sentences? Do sentences have kinds? Yes, we have lots of kinds of sentences. Actually, we'll talk about 3 of them today. These are the most important ones. But we have kinds of sentences. What are these kinds? The kinds of sentences now, the simple sentence is different than the somehow not complicated but has lots of information. For example, if I want to tell you one piece of information is different than I want to tell a story or something like that. So how to make that sentence? How to combine these sentences together to make a paragraph? How to combine 3 or 4 paragraphs to make an essay? That's the question. Now, always in the exam, we'll have 2 tasks. One of them is a paragraph, one of them is an essay. The essay is related to a topic to talk about it, and the paragraph is related also to the integrated. Okay? So let's first talk about the kinds of sentences. Okay? Now, we have 4 kinds of sentences. Okay? One kind is combining 2 kinds together. Technically, we have 3. So the 3 kinds of sentences are simple sentence, complex sentence, compound sentence. Then we have the 4th kind when I put the compound sentence with the complex sentence and I make a sentence. So I combine 2 things together. Okay, so the type of sentence is determined according to the clauses. What is the clause? The clause is the part of a sentence. For example, this part, when I say, for example, although I'm tall, I can't reach that thing. You see? So that's a sentence that has 2 clauses. I said I'm tall and I cannot reach that thing. So these are 2 clauses in a sentence. Okay? Let's talk about them. Now the simple sentence. A simple sentence is a single idea. One piece of information. When I want to talk to you, I tell you about one thing. Okay? So that's the thing. That's the simple sentence. It has one subject, one verb, one object, and everything. Sometimes it doesn't have an object. For example, when I say, I'm I'm bored, okay? Or I'm an accountant, I'm an engineer, I'm an instructor, you see, so I'm a teacher, you see. So this is a monkey, that's a bag, okay? That's a cell phone, and all of these things. So all of these things are like important in a sentence. So that's a simple sentence, gives you one piece of information. So next, compound sentence. What is the compound sentence? Compound sentence, at least it has two clauses, okay, or two sentences. Meaning, okay, let's explain this meaning. Now, for example, let's put that example and tell you about it. Now, let's say, neither Sue nor Lisa is going to help you. So, the sentence that we have here, that's a simple sentence. Neither Sue nor Lisa is going to help you. Put it here. So neither Sue nor Lisa is going to help you. Or for example, not only do I not like it when people smoke cigarettes on buses, but also when they do in theaters. You see, so these are kinds of sentences. It has two clauses. So it's combining two sentences together. Okay? So like it has semicolon, it has punctuation. When I start to talk about something, then I add another thing, or I start to talk about something and then I actually explain that thing. You see? So that's the compound sentence. So it's a little bit it's a little bit bigger than the simple sentence, and I put at least two clauses or two sentences are joined together by a conjunction, by a word, by anything. Okay. Okay. Now we need to talk about something. Subordinate or dependent clause may or may not be presented in a compound sentence. It is possible the compound sentence to have 3 or 4 or more independent clauses, but commonly it contains only 2. Now, for the compound sentence, it can be more than 2 clauses. It can be 3, it can be 4. But, okay, now it contains only 2 normally. That's the common thing. So the common thing for the compound, it contains 2. But it can be 3, it can be 4 independent clauses. Okay? That's, I know we need to talk about that. So next. I'm skinny and you're obese. Okay, skinny, that means like I'm not fat, I'm skinny. You're obese, that means you're fat. Obesity, obese. Okay, so two main clause joined by a conjunction, and. So that's called a conjunction, and. I always tell you what I know, but you never tell me what you know. You see, so I always tell you what I know, but you never tell me what you know. So these are two sentences are combined, very nice, by a conjunction which is but. Very nice. Okay. Now it's okay. Now, so complex sentence. What's the complex sentence? Complex sentence is a little bit different. Why? Because it has one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. What does it mean? One independent clause, one dependent clause. Independent clause, that means, like for example, I'm happy, I'm bored, Okay, so that's independent. She stole an unsure. That's independent. So all of these are independent clauses. So that means that's a sentence, that's another sentence. I can find them together. But this one is one independent, one dependent. Dependent, that means this sentence is linked or related to the first sentence. Now, how? Like, let's think about it like this. Now, when I say something like, there are some sentences, like some, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we have 4 kinds of sentences, such as, you see? So, 4 kinds of sentences. So, these 4 kinds are, that means that the second sentence is explaining the first sentence, talking about it. It's related to it. Okay? Let's take examples. She is a big bully. I stay away from her. So we have the second sentence is related to the first sentence. It's a result. Okay? It's a result for her being a bully or something like that. So it's a result. I'll do it if I have time. That means I will do it if I have time. So the second sentence depending on the first sentence. If we didn't have the first sentence, that means we don't have the second. Okay? So as I said, so the main one is the important one, and the second one is reliant to it. Go next. Now, the last kind of sentence, what's that? We know the combined and the complex. We put them together, and that's a kind of a sentence. So combined and complex. Now, what's that? So at least it has 2 independent clauses and at least 1 independent. Okay? How? Let's take an example to understand it. Although the car is old, it still runs well and we intend to keep it. So although the car is old, it runs well and we intend to keep it. So we have 3 sentences here. 2 of them are dependent. I'm so sorry, 2 of them are independent and 1 of them is dependent. Very nice. Okay? So although it's old, it still runs and we intend to keep it. You see? So the first 2 are independent and the last one is a dependent sentence on it. Okay? So what we understand from this, now independent sentence, that means can be alone. Like when I say it alone, it will have a meaning. Dependent sentence, that means it needs the first sentence, the independent sentence to say. So it needs the independent sentence to be good. It needs the independent sentence to explain it. That's most of the time. So this is the idea. The idea here is like, I have like, this sentence is related to the first one that needs to be explained by. Okay? Now let's watch this video about types of sentences. Okay, welcome back. So now we've talked about the 4 kinds of sentences, and we've talked now about the 4 kinds of meaning of other sentences, the declarative and the interrogative and all of these sentences. Okay, so I guess we covered the part of a sentence now. The sentence, the kind of sentences, and the meaning of each and every sentence. Now let's go forward for the next. Next time we're talking about paragraphs. Now let's talk about something. Now when we try to combine a whole paragraph, we need sentences together. Now so it starts by this. Letters, they make words. Words, they make sentences. Sentences, they make paragraphs. Very nice. So what is the paragraph? The paragraph is a part of the essay. For example, I have a paragraph. This paragraph is talking about something, like the introduction about that thing. So That's the first thing. So the first thing is to paragraph. Okay? So let's talk about the paragraphs. Now, parts of a paragraph. We have the thesis sentences, topic sentences, concluding sentences. Or we have another example. We have it like this. Now, we have the introduction, conclusion, and the topic sentence. So, thesis sentences. What means thesis sentence? Thesis sentence is like the intro of the paragraph. The introduction. That's the beginning of the paragraph. So, thesis sentence. So, thesis sentences are usually come at the beginning of the paragraph. The most general sentences in the paragraph. Okay? So, that's the thesis sentence. So, they come at the beginning of the paragraph, and it's general sentence. General something. General, like, information. General sentence about something. It's not talking about something specific, so it's just general. Okay? Go next. Now, there are not many details in the sentences, but it introduces overall the idea. As I said, it's the introduction. So, they introduce something, okay, to discuss later in the paragraph. Like, for example, when I tell you, money is very important for our life. That's an introduction to something. So when I say, money is very important in our life, that means I'm going to discuss this sentence in the in the future. At the rest of this paragraph, I'm going to actually try to discuss that sentence. I'm going to open a discussion, ask some questions about that word, ask some questions about that topic. It's like this. So money is very important to ourselves, also to our life. Now we can buy everything with money. We can also buy some. But can money buy happiness? That's a question. So when I ask a question like that, that means I'm changing the topic and I'm going to talk about something else. Meaning, let's explain this part. Now here, let's say, I said like money is very important to our life. But can money buy happiness? Can money buy happiness? So, what's that? Yes, I'm asking a question. I need you to tell me reasons. Why are you with this sentence, or why are you against this sentence? Okay? So, go next. Okay. My town is famous for several amazing natural features. First, it's noted for Wenton River, which is very wide and beautiful. Also, on the other side of the town is Wenton Hill, okay, which is unusual because it's very steep. Now, so my town is very famous for several amazing natural features. Now, that's the first sentence. Then I talked about those natural features, like Winter River, like Winton Hill. Okay, very steep. It's unusual and very steep. I'm explaining and describing that thing. So I use the conjunction here to link two sentences to talk about something. So this is the idea. The idea here is I start by a sentence, I start explaining that sentence. That's the thesis sentence. Okay? Go next. Now, let's go for other examples for that sentence. Cannot be used as a topic sentence. Can figure out why they are inappropriate. Now, my town is famous because it's located by Winter River, which is very wide, and because it's built near an unusual steep hill called Winton Hill. Okay? Now, some sentences, we cannot use them as topic sentences or thesis sentences. How? Now, there are two reasons why some people, these sentences can be topic sentences. So, there are two reasons why some people like to buy cars with automatic transmissions, and two reasons why others like cars with manual transmission. Okay? So clouds are white. Now, let's answer these problems. Now, why these sentences cannot be thesis sentences normally in a paragraph? Now, it's like this. The problem number one, the sentence number one, my town or whatever, it contains too many details. So the thesis sentence is supposed to be one sentence that's talking about something. So you're talking about what? You're talking about a topic or something like that. So that's one sentence. So one sentence that would be explained would be like having like clues or just to find the things in the future. Now, okay. Sentence number two, it's not appropriate as a thesis sentence because there's a typo here. It's not topic sentence, it's thesis sentence. Because it mentions two topics. That means it's not talking about one topic, it's talking about two topics. So that's not correct. Why? Because the thesis sentence is supposed to have a topic and we talk about it and explain it. Okay? Now the problem number three is too general and it's very boring. It's also very boring. So it's too general and very boring. Okay? Now let's go next. Topic sentences or supporting sentences. Now we started with the thesis sentence, which is the main sentence about that thing. Now topic sentences or supporting sentences are supporting the thesis sentence. How? Like for example, when I say, my town is very nice. It's very white. It's very spacious. You see, so like I'm explaining the meaning of very nice. So I say same thing. I support my idea. Now when I say money is very important for our life because we buy that with money. We buy that with money. Understand? So I'm giving like some examples for why is money important in our life. So the second here or the third sentence are called support sentences, as we said. Supporting sentences, like these are sentences are supporting the thesis, the idea. Explains the idea. Okay? So these are the topic sentences. The paragraph always has more than two topic sentences, more than two supporting sentences. Okay? So let's go and see. Now my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. First, it's known for the Winston River, which is very wide and beautiful. On either side of this river, which is 170 feet wide, are many willow trees which have long branches that can move gracefully in the wind. In autumn, the leaves of these trees fall and cover the river's banks. The river banks like golden snow. You see? So, the idea here that I start with a thesis sentence, I talked about the topic, and I actually supported that topic with some sentences that I have. So, these are the supporting sentences or the topic sentences. Okay? Let's go next. Concluding sentences. Concluding coming from conclusion. Conclusion, these are the end of the paragraph. Now, in formal paragraphs, you will sometimes see a sentence at the end of the paragraph which summarizes the information that has been presented. Meaning, like for example, of presenting a topic, any topic in the world, topic about food, topic about like water, topic about oceans, topic about anything. So anything like this, so it's like that's a topic. At the end, I will summarize the whole thing for you in a concluding sentence. Let's see here example. So we said the whole paragraph, then we say, these three landmarks are truly amazing and make my town a famous place. So the whole paragraph was like this. My hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. First, it's noted for the Winston River, which is very wide and beautiful. Also, on the other side of the town is Winston Hill, which is unusual because it's very steep. The third amazing feature is the big old tree. This tree stands 200 feet tall and it's is probably about 600 years old, okay? These three landmarks are truly amazing and make my hometown a famous place. So this is the idea. I started with a thesis synthesis that my town is famous. Now then I found supportive synthesis. Why is my town famous? Then I ended with a conclusion which is like, these are the three things that made my town famous. Okay? Let's go next. Remember this. What's that? The good paragraph is supposed to have an idea, and this idea is supported with some sentences, and they are linked together. Okay? That's called coherent. Coherent, that means all the ideas are linked and related to each other. So that's a coherent. Okay? The coherent. So all the ideas are unified, are the same, and coherent and well developed. When I develop them, when I talk about them in a good way, in a correct way. Okay? Let's go next. Okay. Now that's a question lots of people ask. What's that question? When to start a new paragraph? When to know that my paragraph should end here and to start a new one? So when to begin a new idea? Because the whole essay is consisting of paragraphs. Those paragraphs, they introduce some ideas. Now, before we talk about the new paragraph, we will watch a small video about how to write paragraphs, okay, and the kinds of paragraphs, the things that summarize the whole thing that we said.